Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. I want to talk about the brand new 2020 remake The Witches that came out yesterday on the HBO Max platform. And yeah, I want to talk about the things I did like and the things I didn't like about this movie. I might compare it a little bit to the 1990s The Witches movie. But before we get started on this video, if you're brand new, subscribe to the channel for more content if you want to see more content. And click on the notification bell to never miss an upload. And if you really like this video, click on that like button. It really means a lot to me. And if you agree or disagree of this video, put it down in the comments. I really want to know, what did you like and what did you not like about this movie, or compare it to the 1990s movie. But anyways, let's get started on the video. The first positive thing about this movie is they do have a strong cast. Anne Hathaway, Octavia Spencer, and Stanley Tuckus, I believe that's his name, and the director who directed all three Back to the Future movies and got a Oscar win for directing Forrest Gump. So they have four Oscar winners or got nominated for an Oscar in this movie. And they do have Chris Rock, but he's not really in this movie that much. He's mostly a voice, mostly in this movie, a narrator, but that's it. So yeah, that's a good positive. Octavia Spencer is like the best part in this movie. She's really given it her all in this movie. She's funny in some parts, she's really serious in some parts, and she really trying to give it her all because the storytelling for this movie is kind of off and on with me, and it might for some people who were fans of the 1990s version of the movie, or you read the novel and maybe this movie is really going strong with the novel. I never read the novel, so I don't know. But the thing about Octavia Spencer, she does a great job, but the only bad thing is she pretends to be sick. She's a great actress, but I don't believe her being sick or ill. Like in the 1990s version, the actress who played the grandma, she looked very sick. She looked very ill. Because she was older, she got the gray hair, and she was really looking very sick. Another great thing about this movie is the mouse. So there's three mouse in this movie compared to two in the 1990s version, but this one is a little bit better than the 1990s in my personal opinion. These three are very funny, they're very comedic. I love their humor. They're like one of the best parts of this whole movie. Without them, it might be a boring movie to watch without any humor. Like the 1990s version had some humor with the mice, but this one really went more comedy than the previous movie. And that's a great thing, and some it's a bad thing because the 1990s version was fantasy horror, and this one is just fantasy comedy. The CGI, for the most part, looked very good for a streaming service movie. It did really well for the CGI. The mice look very good. The witches look pretty good too. They do use some practical effects, the makeup, but for the Grand High Witch, she does have a lot of CGI on her. The cinematography is like one of the greatest parts about this movie. I love scenes of the hotel. I love the angle shots. You can see a lot of details they have in this hotel, and even sceneries in the Alabama location. But the things I really dislike about this movie is the pacing of this movie. For the first 25 minutes of this movie, it's very slow. They added more details of the story than the 1990s version. It was shorter than this version. They didn't show the grandmother being having all this details and telling her story, what happened to her in the past. But it might be interesting for some people like me because I want to know more details. But for a family with kids, it doesn't want to work out for them. And the biggest problem is the kid actor. Both kid actors in the 1990s version and this 2020 are pretty bad at acting. They're horrible. That's why I said this is a very slow paced movie because this kid doesn't really do anything in the movie. He's boring. He doesn't really do anything. Octavia Spencer is like the main part in this movie trying to hold it up. Another bad thing is Anne Hathaway. She doesn't feel like a Grand High Witch to me. She felt like a regular person. I don't see her as an evil person that much compared to the 90s version. The Grand High Witch actress who played Mrs. Adams from the Adams family, and she looks very scary in the witches. Even the look of the design of the Grand High Witch is very scary. Back in the day, this movie scared little kids. With the new look of the Grand High Witch for this 2020 remake, it doesn't look bad, but it's mostly CGI. So they got one toe on each foot, three fingers at each hand, a big giant mouth with sharp teeth, and two tongues. And their nose grow bigger if they smell children. Oh, and they're bald too. But I'm sorry, Anne Hathaway is not good in this movie. And she doesn't look hot in this movie either. The biggest thing in this movie I had a problem is a scene in this movie. Um, this was in the 1990s, but they added some more details in this 2020 version. So all the witches and the Grand High Witch are in this room talking about a formula that turned kids to mice, and the Grand High Witch is destroying everything in the room and killing a witch and destroying a mic stand and a floor stand. It She's been destroying everything, and all these clothes are around the floor, and the manager can't hear all these noise. It's weird, and I know these witches can't, you know, fix furniture. But that's just my quick opinions. It's not a bad remake, but it's not a movie to go back to. I prefer the original movie, but I give this movie a 2.5 out of 5. But if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more content. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.